We love hip
Hopefully,
hop.
because if it doesn't, this is not going to be a good look. I'm not hoping for the worst. I'm hoping for the best, right? I'm
Yeah.
hoping that when he drops, it does 400,000 first week. It's like nothing ever happened, right? But if it doesn't, and this is part of the reason, and I've said this on my own pod, I feel the apprehension comes from maybe a little cold feet. The Iceman got some cold feet, bro. Because if you drop and it does 150 first week, you know what I'm saying? I think Cole did like 250, 275. Kanye just did between 250 and 275. If you even have the same numbers as them guys, it's a L.
Yeah, I wouldn't be worried about the numbers at all. I mean, some sexy songs you did what 225. I think did 225 first week. That's with no lead single. And then when you look at, I think Cole did 290. He's a bigger artist than Cole. But what Cole does well is I think he executes better when it came down to the rollout. And I think they had a lot of these things lined up. They had the physicals, they had the variants, they had the partnership with Even. So they were already had the ball in motion. They dropped the mixtape, 2 or 3 weeks before the album. So I think what he needs to do, and I've been critical of him. People think I only say good things. I say a lot of good things, but I also like to hold him accountable. You have the world at your fingertips. You have the biggest brands in the world. You have the best business minds in the world. You have the top label in the world. Why don't you use all of those things to make this the best and biggest rollout ever? Right? I think you need to do physicals. I think you need to do bundles. I think you need to do variants. I think you need to do collaborations. Why not? I know you could do the numbers without it, but why don't you go out and prove to the world you are still dominant and you can play the same games they play and blow everybody out the water? That's the mentality that I would like him to have, but I don't know if he will.
I don't know either, man. I feel like there's a reason for a couple of things. I'll say two things. Partially is because they're very last minute. From my experience, from behind the scenes, just knowing what was going on at one point in time, and just even from, if you can see from the outside, sometimes they're submitting the last few songs for an album that's going to be a major album the night of when the upload is supposed to be happening. So it's kind of hard, and I'm giving a super bail right now. It's hard to give a proper rollout when you're finishing the album on the day of.
You're 100% correct. And listen, it could be for fusion. Maybe it's leaks. Maybe it's hackers. Maybe again, his relationship with the label is, listen, here's the file, upload. Like I think it really might be that, but I don't know if that's the smartest thing to do right now. I really don't. I think he has to. I know who you are, and I know mentally where he views himself. But I think sometimes it's good to take a step back and think about where you were 10 years ago. And maybe you need to play your hand like that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Okay, so in the perfect world, Drake does a proper rollout. Mm-hmm. I think part of that proper rollout would, include an interview. Interview choices for where Drake should go.
All right, you want me to give you a whole rollout that he should do?
Yes, please.
All right, I'll give you the perfect rollout.
Hold on, Drizzy, take notes.
Hopefully he sees this, man. So somebody from his team has probably seen some of my stuff, but this is what I would do if I were him. If I were advising him, actually, here's what I would do. You do episode 4. You do episode 4, and you do it in movie theaters. You have the live stream playing in theater. People can pull up to the theater, you buy a ticket, and with the purchase of your ticket, you will get a physical copy of the album. You get a redemption code. Okay? It's a 2-hour stream. So you start at 10 p.m., you end at midnight. Once midnight hits, the album drops. This is when you start activations. So he would need to have this rolled out probably a week before this. You have the Amazon storefront. On the Amazon storefront, when they get to Amazon.com, once they check out with something, it relinks them to Drake related, and they can check out with the album, and they can check out with any Iceman merch. All the Iceman merch will be a collaboration with Nike. This I'm wearing right here is Nocta. He should have Iceman blue Nocta tracksuits. Okay? So Not only are you able to now go direct to consumer because people are purchasing from your website, you're also able to have merch that people will want to wear because I think this is fire. This is one of my favorite track suits. Then you have people pulling up to your activations at movie theaters across the country, New York, Chicago, LA, Miami. You should do those cities. And of course, Toronto. But for Toronto, it should be in front of, I think it's Scotiabank where they have that little thing at. You should do it there where people can enjoy the music live. At midnight, the album
Mm.
starts rolling. You need to invest in the people because the people have been investing in you. Drake's fan base has never been more activated than it has been right now. So you need to give the fans something to celebrate with. You need to give the fans something to feel a part of a community. And that's exactly what I would do. If you do the Amazon, if you do the activations with McDonald's, with Nike, with his fragrance company, you should have a candle that matches the scent. If you do those things, he can do 900,000 first week. I don't doubt it at all. I don't doubt it at all.
Hold
But
on.
will he? That's the question.
You need air horns right there. Woo! They opened up the jewelry store right there. Listen, Joe Drizzy, hire this nigga right here, bro. Hire this guy, fam, and send him a new Nocta pack. Finally, send my Nocta pack, bro. Like, walk on, bro. This is that right there is the $1 million plan. I might need to cut this shit out the live stream because you're giving out too much information right there. That's too much of a solid plan, brother.
Yeah. But I think, again, when you have all the resources at your fingertips, it's easier to be lazy than it is to be, well, I mean, I say lazy. It's easier to do things in just a here's the album way than it is to do things in a let me do all of these little things way because you're the biggest artist in the world. So it's but sometimes the biggest artist in the world, I know musically he works like he's still grinding, but on the business end, I think he could do a bit more, to be honest.
You know what it is too? I feel like, and I was gonna say this before, part of the reason I think, or part of this mindset, I think, is I'm just building this off of anticipation. Niggas been waiting for this forever. So when I drop it, it's gonna do 500,000-600,000 off the hop because I'm me and I haven't dropped in so long and everybody's waiting to hear what I gotta say. But you're right on point right there. That's cool, and that will give you maybe maybe 500,000 sales. But that what you just said there, that plan, that'll give you 900,000 first week in these days and times.
For sure. And you know what? I'm sorry, I didn't even answer your question. I went on my tangent.
No,
who should he sit down with? Who should he sit down for with an interview? I actually did a video on this, I think, or it was a part of a video I did. I mean, who are the real candidates out there? I think he should go the hip hop route. So you have Joe Budden, you got Charlemagne, you got Rory and Ball. I think those. You got Gillian Wallow, and I'm missing one. And you got Nori. He got to show love to the home team. I'm sorry, this is my American bias. He should show love to the home team too. So those are the 5 biggest hip hop, American podcasts.
Oh, an academic, somebody said in the chat.
And Act. Oh, sorry. Pardon me. Shout out to Act too. He reacted to one of my videos, so shout out to Act. Those are the options. And he actually planned this. This was supposed to happen. He was supposed to have a bunch of reporters and media members go to the embassy, and he was going to do like a group interview where it was sort of like a press conference or like after the game type thing.
Really?
I think that would have been dope, and I think he actually should go through with that because then whatever questions people ask, they are going to ask the most hard-hitting questions because they don't know if they're going to get another one. So I think imagine putting Charlemagne, Joe Budden, Rory and Maul, and academics in the same room. That's the greatest interview of all time.
Yeah.
That's the greatest interview of all time. And then on top of that, why don't you put content creators in there? J. Cole just sat with Lost in Vegas. They've been giving, Drake a fair shot since the battle. He could sit, you said you and him talk. He got to give you a look. So maybe you do something where you let all the content creators get into the space. There's content creators who have been showing him love. Again, you got to reward the people who are invested in you. And reward us with the music, but you can give us more. I mean, look at what Cole does. People could talk all this crap about J. Cole as much as they want. They're calling it performative. He's doing too much. They don't want to hear about it. But at the end of the day, he's invested with his community. He went out and shook their hands. He went out and greeted them. When it came down to the interviews, he went out and did every interview. He did content creators. He did basketball players. He did what he had to do. And all the people who were supporting him, they got a hoodie. It might seem insignificant, but he had maybe 100 of them, or I can't remember how many he made of them. The people who supported him got that. And that's a token of, I see you and I respect you. And that's the relationship you want to have with your fans, because that makes them go to bat for you.
Oh, that's facts. That's facts. And that whole thing where you're mentioning where he was contacting all of the different podcasters and stuff like that. What year was that?
I don't. Maybe this is around, maybe it was around Scorpion time. I think it was around Scorpion time. It was after the first. Well, whenever him and Elliot did that interview, Elliot and B. Dot, I think it was around that time.
Interesting. And he had contacted all of the podcasters around that time?
Yeah, and it was supposed to be at the embassy.
So I'm going to give you and the audience an exclusive. Where's my sound effects? I was contacted around that time by him for an interview.
Look at that. I don't lie. I rarely say things when I speak with confidence.
Damn, that's actually making my heart beat. I've never actually said that publicly. I've only said it behind the scenes, but I saved the DMs. I was like, hell yeah, when do you want to do it? And he was like, after the CLB album, or he didn't even say CLB album because he didn't have a title yet, but he was like, after the album. And then around that time, a picture came out with him and Nori.
Okay.
Do you remember there was a picture of him and Nori, and they were like, the caption said interview loading, right?
Yeah, Nori talks about it often.
Yes. And there was actually no interview loading. There was no interview even recorded, right? But at the same time, Joe Budden said on his podcast that he was speaking to Drake about an interview around that time too. So it kind of tracks.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. Interesting.
I hope I'm not spoiling no plans, though. If I said too much, I apologize, man.
No, man, I'm the one who revealed. No, not at all. Like, I'm the one who revealed like a secret that I've been holding on in my chest for a long time, bro. So
yeah, you know what happens? Sometimes people tell me things, but I don't repeat them out loud because I'm like, it's hard for me to verify certain sources. Like, I had people in the past week, right? Even these aren't even well-performing videos. These videos I put out maybe are getting like 2,000 views. Like, somebody from Ebro's team who works with Ebro, Lauren, and Rosenberg, their team like sent me a message or like wrote me and was like, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about." I had Mero comments, the new host of Hot 97 in the Morning. Shout out to Mero. He left me a lengthy comment on one of my videos, kind of clarifying his perspective on things. So you don't know who's watching your videos. You don't know who's watching the content. You don't know who's sending you messages from where. People have sent me messages that say they work for certain labels. I don't know. So I try not to say things unless I could 100% verify it.
No, listen, man. As somebody who's been doing this for 9 years, sometimes not the most well-performing videos, sometimes live streams, I find out this person's been watching. Ebro and them, they're a little bit sensitive because he's responded to me a few times too, and he's giving me the shush emoji when I was like, yo, you guys need to get a studio prior to them having the studio. So yeah, you're gonna get a lot of that as you keep on doing this.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to check out these other videos on the screen and make sure to like and subscribe.
We love hip hop.